You've been posting, showing up, putting in the work, and you're still not the number you want. You've probably invested in courses, programs, masterminds, maybe coaching. You walked away with more information than when you came in, but your business didn't move the way you expected it to. Now, here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. You do not have a knowledge problem. What you've got is a systems problem. And those are two very different things, all right? So today, I'm gonna walk you through, for one, why everything you've been learning hasn't fully clicked yet. I'm gonna give you the exact infrastructure to make the change that's gonna actually allow you to really flip that switch and kick things up a year in your business. And then beyond that, I wanna make sure here that by the time we are done, you understand what gaps exist in your business, and not only that, exactly how you can go ahead and fill them. Now, here's what I already know about you. You specifically, you've heard of funnels, you've heard of lead generation, you know automation exists, you know ads can work. If I was to ask you point blank, if you heard of these things, you say, of course I have, get out of my face. Now, with all that being said, the real question is, if you know of all this, why is your business not where it needs to be, not where you want it to be? The answer is simply not that you need more information like everyone seems to be chasing. It's that you haven't had the right guidance to implement it into your specific business in a way that actually sticks. And that right there is the gap. And that's what I'm getting into today. What's going on? Justice Severin here. I've been full-time in the industry for 6 years now. Before then, I was a corporate accountant for 9-figure businesses, working in Boston, Massachusetts for 7 years. And I walked away from all of that to build this. It was not clean at first. We were deep in debt. My wife Lauren and I, we had just our oldest daughter at the time. Now I'm a girl dad of 2, and I knew I had the knowledge, the offers, the systems, the marketing to make it work, but it was actually getting it to run in the way I really truly needed it to. That took time, and it took really building out the right infrastructure up front. So in 2021, that was when I crossed my first 100K online. Shortly after, I hit my first $30,000 a month, my first $50,000 a month. At that point, though, it's like I had built up a team of 12. I felt like an HR manager, and you can imagine all of the chaos that comes with that. What I built for myself was basically just another cage when I think back to my accounting days. And so it was back at really right at the start of 2023. It was January 2nd, 2023. I completely stripped it all down, and I really made a conscious decision, and I built this system the way that I actually wanted to live my actual life here. Since then, I've generated over $2 million in my coaching business, and I've helped my clients here over $4 million in theirs. And that's the exact system that we're working with here. It's helped countless coaches that have run through this exact process. And the clients that have come through this, I pulled up my iPad just to show you a few of them. Brianna Wiggins closed her first $10,000 month in just 45 days of working together. Crystal Brown, a faith-driven coach, she crossed $22,000 with a brand new coaching offer. She'd never sold it before in just 2 months of working together. Cassie Lopez, she went from $8,000 in the hole, $8K in debt, to her first $45,000 month. Sarmed closed $10,000 with multiple offers. John Burke closed his first $2,500 client in our first 4 days of working together. Lupita closed $10,000 month. Alan Clayton, he actually ended up closing $200,000 cash collected. This has been updated since with less than 2,000 followers though. Nick Early closed his first $19,000 in 8 days to start the year. Like, what a great start to the year here, right? Vince, he closed his first $15,000 client in 30 days of launching his community together. He's a trauma-informed coach. It shows that it does not matter your niche. You can still make it happen with the right messaging. Ryan, he closed 2 $10,000 months back to back, one of them being a 100% close rate. That's unheard of in this space here. And you can see all of these are real people, real clients. There's a play button here because literally these are interviews that I've recorded with all of them. You could watch all of them. The reality is these are different clients, different people, real results, different niches, different backgrounds, but the system works. It's not because it's about who you are. It's about having the right infrastructure in place. Just before I show you the full system, let's take a step outside together. I want to do something with you. I'm going to ask you to score yourself in 5 areas. And for each one, I want you to give yourself a 1, a 2, or a 3. 1 meaning I really need some work in this area. 2 meaning I'm doing okay. I definitely could be doing better, but I'm doing decent. And a 3 means like I'm crushing it here. I feel solid, like I got this. All right. I'm going to want you to go ahead and add up your total score at the end. The max you can get is a 15. So let's go take a step, and I want to see where you land. Area number 1, offer clarity. All right. Now ask yourself this. Do you have a proven, scalable, leveraged flagship offer that, 1, is actually built to stand out from the crowd, and at the same time here is going to allow you to bring on 10 to 20 clients in a week without dismantling the business because you're going to be completely overwhelmed because of how you've structured it. Or on the flip side, do you have it where you're just kind of figuring out your offer? You know, you have a loose idea, but you don't really know what it's going to look like when somebody comes through. Now, a lot of coaches here, I feel like they have pieces here. As I like to kind of say at times, they have these different islands of assets and ways that they want to help people, but they haven't brought them all onto one central location in a way that actually has become scalable and leveraged there. And because of this now, they don't really have clarity on who they're marketing to, what their true message is, what the positioning is that they're going to take that's going to allow them to stand outside the marketplace there too. And now the issues that pop up from this, it's not just the fact that, oh, they get someone to say no. It's like they're leaving so much money on the table. The reality is you're making everything harder for you downstream inside of the business. Creating content becomes harder. Your sales conversations come harder. You know, let's just say you're taking sales calls. The reality is you're going to hear so many more objections because you haven't done the upfront work to build the right foundation that's going to actually allow you to have an offer that will really scale with you instead of one where you're going to have to just pump the brakes because inevitably you've built yourself a trap. Just to make sure you understand how important the clarity is within your actual offer, Brianna came in without a dialed in high ticket offer there. We actually got that locked in first. It was the foundational piece before everything. And then from there, she hit her first $10,000 month within 45 days. And shortly after that, she closed $50,000 in coaching revenue. Sales, cash collected here. It just makes a world of a difference when you approach your business with the right foundation first instead of trying to go ahead and shortcut the game. Reality is it doesn't take long to do this first part, but it is important. Offer clarity. Let me know where you stand on this one. Are you a one? You feel like I really am just truly figuring this out. If someone was to come to me, I'd be kind of making stuff up on the spot. Are you a two? You feel like you got something, there's a partial structure, and you feel like you're just developing it. You're in a place where maybe you brought on some clients, but it's still a bit loose as far as scaling it goes. Or three, you feel like, hey, you know what? I've got this thing totally dialed in. I know the market positioning. I understand my avatar and how they fit into this, why I stand out, and why this is actually scalable for the business. I see a lot of coaches here, you know, they can fall between a two a lot or a one at times. Area number two, lead flow. Are you actually bringing in consistently every single day pre-sold and qualified leads into your business? Or are you finding yourself on the content treadmill, posting consistently or semi-consistently because it's burning you out and you're not getting consistent clientele for those efforts? This has got to be the number one place I'm seeing coaches struggling just because they don't have something that's predictable. They're having where they have to wake up, post, edit, film, do all these things, and at the end of it all, they're still finding themselves getting 200 views or barely anything in return for it. You need a system that's going to get you passive buyers on a daily basis. When I say passive, we need a way where you're not forcing yourself to have a strategy that requires you to show up every day and post content, do all the things 3 to 5 times a day, even once a day. Shoot, it's going to just lead to this feeling of you're just completing an activity and you don't actually have any true infrastructure inside of your business. If you are forcing yourself to have a marketing department, which is you, to has to show up and do all these things, it's gonna be very difficult to really thrive long term and actually gain consistent clientele in your business. So one of my clients, Cassie, when we first connected, she was absolutely grinding it out in content. Like we're talking, the whole TikTok posting constantly, all the things. And like I mentioned before, she was $8,000 in debt when she came in and before we even met each other here. We actually, first things first, we dialed in the offer as usual, but we really put emphasis into building out the lead system. And then she was able to actually hit her first $45,000 month. She's now done over $500,000 in total sales. And this is as a stay-at-home mom of 2. And this doesn't become possible unless you actually have consistent lead flow. You need people coming in who are finding out about you every single day, never heard of you, in order to grow your audience to a large enough amount where you can actually give yourself the chance to have large 5-figure months like that. Without the consistent visibility and eyeballs in your business and your coaching brand, this is impossible. So that's why the lead flow is so huge, and Cassie's just a great example of that here. Let me know where you stand. Let's go ahead and write those scores down. Are you a 1 where you just feel like you are not bringing in leads really at all predictably inside of your business? Are you a 2? You feel like it's kind of semi-consistent, maybe things fluctuate a bit, but it's really not coming in as you would like? Or 3, you just feel like leads are flowing in on a daily basis, completely on autopilot, and you are just seeing now how they smoothly transition into your sales flow? Are you a 1, 2, or a 3? I see a lot of coaches I feel like honestly are a 1 here. Area number 3, conversion path. Now ask yourself this: do you have a clear system-led path to take somebody who's never heard of you and turn them into a paying client, and doing that without having to be manually closing them in the process? Or are you finding yourself just heavily focused on being active inside of the DMs every day and just relying on referrals? If your business stops when you stop, you have not created a system for yourself. All you've done is just given yourself another job. We need you to have a way to get your leveraged high ticket offer out there 24/7 with your funnel doing the heavy lifting for you. This is how you can really have a system that's going to set you up for true scale and not inevitably hit a bottleneck that's going to stop your business before it gets the actual momentum to really grow. We need to do this with really keeping a simple focus, right, around one funnel, one offer, and just really making sure that we can passively stay in front of our ideal avatars, our ideal prospects passively inside of the business and set ourselves up for success. To really help this hit home, I feel like Vince is a great example of this. He's very heart-centered and he wanted to build a community. Now, I say that because my strategy does not require you to build a community at all. So the fact that he wanted to do this just goes to show that there's flexibility within the framework. We were able to basically go ahead, get him into this, and then quickly have it where he hit that first 15K client. That happens because we created, as you can imagine here, we had the foundation with the offer. We had the leads coming on a consistent basis. And now we used and basically leveraged this community here as a place to have leads coming in and then convert them with the right path design within the system. It changes everything when you come into things with the right frame of mind in order to set yourself up for long-term success as well too. And fortunately, you can get some pretty big quick wins here, 5-figure wins out the gates as well too. All right, now let's go ahead and score yourself. 1 is your kind of conversion path here, just kind of non-existent. You're just completely winging it. 2, you've gone ahead and gotten yourself consistent clients to a certain degree, even though this part hasn't really been dialed in. Or 3, you are just completely crushing it and really have that conversion path truly mapped out and set up to where when leads are coming in, it feels smooth, it feels predictable. Go ahead and write that down. Number 4, nurture systems. Do you have passive automated systems that are keeping your leads warm for you, moving them closer towards your high ticket offer 24/7 without you being around, not being glued to your phone? Or are you just kind of doing a lot of, manual follow-up yourself and just kind of doing it when the, when it pops in your head, if you will, there too? I truly see all the time that for so many coaches, this is a drastically absent part of their business and their strategy. There's no email automation. There's no automations in general, no follow-up sequences, none of that. And it's making it very tough for somebody to, for one, know, like, and trust you, which inevitably is what is going to take to get probably 90% of people to buy from you, besides ones who are just right there bleeding neck problem. So that's just causing you to really leave so much money on the table. And here's the sad part. It's not because they didn't believe you could help them. It's because you basically allowed them to forget about you. You allowed them to lose interest. They were interested, but then because you don't have the right systems in place, that just causes you now kind of always feel like you're in this position where you're constantly starting over, only looking for new cold leads, kind of this shiny lead syndrome, if you will, inside your business day in and day out. I want to pull up my guy Alan here. He lives in Paris, where he actually built the nurture system, the full automation stack. And he's somebody who was extremely hated tech, the thought of it, all of it there, the last thing he wanted to do. And now he's done over $200,000 in cash collected and under 2,000 followers, like I mentioned here. And he's a person who's now getting consistent 5-figure months, and it's just himself and a VA. So this is how you're able to go about it, where you don't need a big team. Like, people are losing money paying out commissions to closers, this, setters, that, all the things, when just having the right nurture systems in place can really make a major difference across the entirety of your business. And it starts with having simplicity within the systems and making it so that even for the person who just hates tech out there, you still need to be able to have something installed. And this is the kind of way we're able to do that smoothly and seamlessly. All right, nurture systems. Let me know where you fall on this one. Are you a 1? You feel like, you kind of have this manual thing strapped together for yourself where you're just kind of doing it when you remember? Are you a 2? You feel like you actually do have some systems and kind of automations in place, but you can tell they're very disconnected? Or 3, you just feel like you have an ecosystem that's holistic and is really moving for you? I feel like a lot of people honestly follow to 1 on this one. Area 5, data tracking. This is one of my favorite ones here. Do you know your numbers? Do you know what it costs to get you a buyer? Do you know your return on ad spend? Do you know at a larger scale, is your system healthy right now, or is it more on the fragile side? These are some of the pieces that will make a drastic difference by understanding them or not. Some of it more simple, some of it more advanced. But I think that a lot of coaches out there are kind of going off of vibes, going off of gut checks. You're going off of, hey, what's my Stripe dashboard telling me today? Or what's the ads manager telling me? You're just trusting that blindly. And you don't really have a true sense of what's happening inside of your business. Coaches that I see typically tend to just be very intimidated because they feel like understanding their data is a very complicated setup. And when the reality is, if you don't have a grasp on these numbers, you cannot effectively make profitable decisions inside of your business. And the reality is you'll end up turning things off that actually are working for you, but it's just because you don't have a deeper understanding of the economics. You will end up keeping things on longer because you are getting lost in the vanity metrics and not seeing how it's actually having a negative impact in your business. And the reality is so many coaches
coaches out there are newer in the ad space, or regardless of whether they're newer or not, I'll tell you this, they don't want to lose money on ads. And so by not having an understanding of your numbers, you're really kind of contradicting your own beliefs and your desires there. And you really need to flip that on its head, because the coaches who really understand their data, that's what makes the difference between the ones who are on the roller coaster and the ones who are scaling profitably and effectively inside of their coaching businesses. Time to let me know where you stand. Go ahead and let's write it down for data tracking. One, do you feel like you just truly are not looking at any stats really in your business? Maybe you peek at a dashboard once a month, maybe every once in a while when you remember in the business. Or two, do you feel like, you have it where you're looking at your stats a bit more consistently? You feel like you've got a process. Maybe you look at it somewhat consistently there, but you understand that it's all a bit disconnected, but at least you're trying. Or three, you feel like you really have your data dialed in. You know what KPIs to focus on. You know what numbers and metrics are really moving the business and are going to have the drastic impact to make it profitable. So you would be a 3 there. Go ahead and score yourself. Typically for this one, I see people are usually at a 1 or a 2.
So here's how we do it inside of my brand to clients. All right, I'm going to lay out the exact mapping of our brand to clients operating system for you right now. The first thing that we start with is the activation phase that you see here on the left side. The whole goal is to get you revenue ready in week 1, not month 3, week 1. And the first thing that we're going to do is have our kickoff call. And the goal here is to clarify your leveraged flagship offer. Right now, this is the foundation. Everything else runs on this. We're not just sitting there talking about what do you sell. We need to get super specific. We're talking about the positioning, the messaging, the way it's packaged so that it gives you a chance to scale it without burning you out on delivery. So many times people will do things and they'll set themselves up so that they'll get to a point where realistically, people don't get here because they're actually not even selling out their offers. But once they start selling it, now they're not able to scale because they're burning themselves out and they don't have the capacity to continue marketing and sales, which is going to just lead to you capping your income before you even get started. So from there, now we want to actually map out your conversion path. So we need to understand fully, how does someone go from finding you for the first time to paying you $2,000, $5,000, $8,000 or more to become a client? That map has to exist before anything else gets built. And so that work that we're doing here in the activation phase plays directly into the core 3 components that go from launching, optimizing, all the way through scaling. And that first one is the bestseller offer engine. That's where the activation plugs directly into this first component. This is your leveraged flagship offer here, built out into a 1-page funnel, what I call the client magnet funnel here. And really, this is your offer in a format that is going to work for you 24/7. That's exactly why I designed it this way. I don't want you focusing on having these long sales pages. We need 1 page, clear, clean, converts. And inside that, we also map out your pre-sold buyer journey. That's understanding exactly how someone moves from discovering you, like we discussed, to saying yes to working with you. So the path needs to be intentional. We're not looking to just fall into clients. This is not accidental here by any means. I want to pull up Crystal quickly because she's a prime example of what having clarity behind your coaching offer can actually do for you in the business. She was always good at content marketing. She was making sales, but never enough to where she was able to hit a 5-figure month, 22K, as you can see as she did here. And it's because she had clarity on what the offer needed to look like that would get people to want to actually take out their credit cards and purchase. It was always for her just more comfortable selling stuff lower, and just because that's where she was and she didn't understand how to position it right. She tried in the past, but could never get people to say yes to it. So understanding how to really craft that offer, get that client magnet funnel dialed in, it just can change everything for you in the business, as it truly did for her as well too in hers. Then from there, we take where we have the self-funding client engine. Now, this truthfully is the heartbeat of the whole system. Without leads, none of this matters at the end of the day. The self-funding client engine is how we bring in qualified pre-sold leads consistently every single day on autopilot. And the way that we do it is basically through what I call a passive daily buyer engine, specifically a low-ticket lead gen machine that's funding itself. Here's what I mean even by practically, if we're to put this into play. If you're spending $300, let's just say a month on ads, the goal is to make that $300 back from low-ticket offers before you ever close a single high-ticket client, right? So now your ad spend is completely covered. Every high ticket you bring in on the back end is pure profit. Meanwhile, at the same time, you've doubled your reach, more qualified leads are in your world every day, and you're scaling your lead gen in ways that with organic, when you're on that content hamster wheel, it's improbable to accomplish this. You're having to play the lottery algorithm system, and you just don't have the predictability that you get with paid ads. Now, the problem is, like, even back when I was running paid ads in 2021, 2022, even early then, I was doing what everyone else was doing, and a lot of people are still doing today with paid ads, which is why it fails, is that they're running ads and they have no way of making money until they get a client. And not only will that burn a ton of cash, it's also extremely discouraging and it makes it where you don't want to keep doing it. So this is how, when you really bring in this lead gen machine, this self-funding engine, this is how you go from chasing clients to having a system that actually fills the pipeline for you. Nick's a great example here. He's a client who's worked with me for years, and he actually, as I mentioned before, closed $19,000 within the first 8 days of the year, but he did this all organic to start. He took the same approach from the self-funding client engine by using it to basically, hey, how can I go ahead and just grab the most pre-sold qualified leads from my audience? And so by taking that, he was able to actually apply this without having to even use paid ads for the majority of it, but still get the same benefit, pulling out the best people inside of his audience without having to go through this tedious manual approach to make that happen here. So just proving yet again the flexibility of the system as a whole, which I just love to see. Then we have automate clients at scale. Once the offer is built out, leads are coming in, this is where everything connects and runs. All right, so automate clients at scale, this is really where, for one, our full all-in-one client acquisition machine that we have created here comes online. This is the infrastructure that really gives you the 24/7 high-ticket exposure completely on autopilot. We need to be getting your offer out there when you're not around, and that's how we're doing it through our software and our system here. The automations, the workflows, email sequences, an AI sales layer that handles the nurture and follow-up so you're not glued to your DMs. I don't want you glued to your phone. We're doing this for the lifestyle business. I've designed this in a way that you could run your business as if you're retired because you love what you do. You just don't want to be glued to it 24/7 here. So now your offer is out in front of people consistently. Leads are coming in consistently. The system is converting them with or without you being there for every piece of it. And at the center of all of it, we have our proprietary AI hub that is built on 4 million plus client results as well too. This is something that we have created completely on our own. You will not find this anywhere else. It's specifically inside of our all-in-one client acquisition machine and our AI hub. All right, let me go ahead and just share my screen so you can see exactly what that is here. Now, as I said, this is a software that I completely built myself. This is not something that I'm like white labeling or I got it from somebody else. It's designed and built off the exact strategy I just walked through here. Here's a question I ask basically every coach I talk to. Where are you tracking your data right now? What's your plan for knowing whether your ads are working? What are your leads costing you? What's your system actually producing? Because most coaches just don't have a good answer. And that's not a knock. It's just that nobody taught you this part. But flying blind is a very expensive way to run your business. You end up guessing, spending money you really can't even account for. And that's where, once again, people are trying to get into this not to blow money on ads, whether you're new or experienced, and scaling things that are bleeding or ruining you or stopping things that are about to work. And that is exactly why I built this here. From day one, every brand of clients member gets access to my proprietary AIO hub, the AIO dashboard that you see right here. Like I said, I didn't buy this and put my name on it. I built it from scratch from 4 million plus in real coaching results from clients who've run this exact system. And the AI inside, it's not just ChatGPT plugged into it. It's trained on my specific framework and my data. This is not something you can go buy anywhere. Only branded clients members get access to this here. Right here, you can see ad spend, total cash, return on ad spend, buyer cost, just the key metrics, low ticket, average order value, cost per click, cost per lead. They are here so you can understand big picture what matters. So you can see exactly what the deal is when it's happening. No more guessing, no more relying on what Meta is telling you and what your dashboard on Stripe is telling you. You know your numbers. Even check this out as well too. We have within it a bunch of really powerful AI features too, but we have our ad idea generator here. This is a huge one. So if you're running ads or getting ready to, one of the biggest places I see coaches getting stuck is coming up with what to actually even say, what angle to even lead with here, what hook is going to even work for them. So this here actually takes this off the table for them. I'm just going to run through really quick for my 30-minute coaches system. I just plugged in the headline from the landing page. As you can imagine, everyone who's working with me, I'll put this here just for online coaches. You can get very nuanced with this here, but you can give the bare minimum as well too, and it can generate the concepts. You're already going to have at this point a low ticket offer that acts as that lead gen machine, that self-funding client engine. So you're already going to have these pieces built, and literally you see how this plugs in what I basically have taught it as far as creating creatives for your ad accounts here. These ad concepts here are built specifically for my offer, not generic. It's giving me the prompts I need, the ad copy, everything here for these. And that was just from a click of a button. And like I said, you can go ahead and ask any generic AI to give you something, but it's not going to be based off of what I truly know is proven for coaches in this space. And that's what I want for you on this side here as well too. From day one, I'm giving my clients this exact tool trained on the strategy. No generic output, right? On top of that too, we have the weekly brief. You wake up to every week a full breakdown of what's working. You can see what needs attention, where the next focus is. From here, literally, it's like, all right, this is where we're at. It gives me the health score, something you'll see that I teach you on as far as really understanding, is the system healthy or not? And then we can start to make adjustments, understand, hey, this is where we're at. It's a true, like if Justice was in your corner, let's break it down for what he would tell you. The system is doing the thinking while you're doing the work. And then to take that one step further, another powerful piece within here is our AI coach. It's my coaching framework installed into your own dashboard here. The AI coach inside the dashboard was built on my specific framework. The same process you're going through right now, basically when you're asking it a question, it's not guessing. It already knows your numbers because of everything we fed into it throughout the month here. This is what makes it so powerful. It already knows the strategy. For the first time, you're talking to something that actually understands the full picture of your business without you having to elaborate and give it a bunch of extra stuff. And that's where we set up here, right? You can ask, what's my focus going to be this week, right? Walk me through my ads right now. Why is my cost per buyer going up? Am I on pace to hit my goal this month? You ask it in plain English. It already knows your cost per buyer, already knows your average order value, all these key metrics that I'm going to teach you inside of here for your last 30 days of campaign data. And it responds the way that I would on a coaching call because it's trained on my exact framework here. This is not a chatbot giving you generic tips. This is your data run through my exact methodology here, my operating system, in a live back and forth conversation anytime you need it. I'll click on this example just so you can see it. It's so powerful and it changes how you're really able to show up inside of the business. Look at this now. I asked it one question. What should I focus on this week? Where the answer to that question could make a drastic change in your business for better or worse, right? And it came back with my exact health score, which how would it know this unless it understands the methodology that I teach within Brand of Clients there, very specific to our teachings. My cost per purchase, cost per buyer, my AOV, my pacing towards my monthly goal, and to increase my ad spend by 20 to 30% on my 2 proven winners here. Like it knows which campaigns those even are, it knows where I'm at in the month. That's not ChatGPT. That's my framework running on my actual numbers. This is what tracking looks like when done right. And when you have all these pieces here, you're not flying blind anymore. You have a true command center. And the beautiful part is it comes with a coach inside of it. And on top of all of this, the offer engine, the lead system, the automations, the AIO Hub, you're also getting founder-led coaching directly from myself and weekly immersion. That's unlimited access to me inside of Slack directly so that I can help you scale your business hands-on outside of the weekly inner circle calls that we have. And on top of the unlimited one-to-one tech support so you're not getting bogged down with the infrastructure. Everything here, this entire Brand of Clients operating system is built and designed to help you get revenue ready in week 1. The last thing I want is you sitting there watching videos for the next, 2 to 4 weeks, right? 2 months, and then you're getting results. Like I truly want to give you the opportunity here to earn while you learn. Everything here is designed to get you revenue ready by week 1 and scale it up from there. So now if on the diagnostic earlier, you scored 10 and under, or maybe you scored, a 10 and a little bit above, but you feel like something is missing. You just know that you're not where you want to be. This, what I just walked you through, is the infrastructure that can change all of that for you. Now, down below this video, you'll see the offer doc that has all of the details on it, investments, specifics, everything you need to know. Go through it, and if it hits home, the next step is simple and clear. I'll see you inside.